Does anybody see Bridget? Bridget? Huh? Planet. I mean, season 4 first part came out in February. It's already here. Yeah. No, she went. No, I didn't. I had seen it. But this came when I was like, it was crowded. No, I checked it. Yeah. I was hiding my face like this. The cameraman is coming. I didn't know because my boyfriend had to go somewhere else. We went somewhere else. So you go for second? Yeah. So he came late, so we couldn't go. We came around 6:10. So I was staying. Maybe he got food. I went around 5. There are more places. I don't know. If you will have to stay side because they're not anywhere else. That's how it was. Last time we sat on that fountain that it's there in the middle, and it was raining last time. Just think, you came around 9, so when I go home, we pay this and that. Okay, dokie. You're doing the one now, are you transferring the question? Transferring? Yeah, so. What's a little bit? Okay, so I'm gonna move forward with it, even though you're not still done. Because I need to get it up. Last time, questions, did I send to you somehow or did I send it to I sent you? We have discussed. Okay, let it be. I'm going to do that at least as usual. Before that, we finish the cash flow statement. So, how long have you waited? How long? So that table is just to make life easier for you. Are you have to draw? Not in the draw, the happens is as okay. Yeah, I watch it. Which? No, I just don't open my Instagram. I'm still busy. Sorry. It was good. Mhm. Okay. Was there a massage? Was there a massage? I mean, Milan, why is not massage? That is couple. I feel so old when I told you that I learned all my extra yet. Yeah, I know that. I was down doing the PDF for y'all until 1 or something. And then I slept. Woke this up at 8, slept. I came from work to home at around 11. So, you know how I was doing a PDF? This kind of the corner was the PDF, the other end was the digital series. Because I can still finish the first season. I'm in the 7th episode, 6th episode. So far, I'm kind of little hating Benedict at this point. He's being a little spoiled brat. I know. See, Penelope's season was so good. Yeah, I like Penelope's season. Like, who's Penelope? Lady's season. Okay. So her season was good. And that's also best friends to lovers, right? So I like that. Okay. But this season, and he's very indecisive. Maybe it's his character from the beginning where like it's very indecisive. He cannot choose what he actually wants, and he has this fear of being this fair. He's the second son, also first son. He's not the first son, so he has this feeling that he's purposeless and all this. So now that they are taking it way too long to get it done, and they are not revealing her identity yet, so something like that. Cool people. Yeah. Okay. YouTube. You know, there's no. There are. Okay, guys. So on the beginning, from the financial management, you can keep writing. Just look at me for a moment until I get this done sorted, and then you can go back to write. Okay. So I give you one. Okay, so so in the beginning of what we were doing, financial management, we started with what is financial management and why do we need to have a financial management? Okay, in order to make sure we are aware of how our finances go. So starting with that, we studied how the financial awareness works. Yeah, so that was the first thing that we studied. And then moving forward, we studied about the ratios, the key financial statements, which we all were not, told about in depth. So we thought of just going in depth, but not in the most depth like how school teaches you, but in the way that we can just do questions, and if you don't know the answers, we can discuss about something like that. Okay, so we did learn about the key financial statements, which is the income statement and profit and loss income statement, financial statement, and then the last one was cash flows statement. So in the when I started this whole thing, I wanted to make sure you all know something about the income statement. That's like the last thing of a particular accounting syllabus or in any what do you say in any company or organization as well, because that gives you an idea about how your cash is and how much you have in return, how much balance you have, how much liabilities you have to pay. So it shows everything out there. Okay. So at the same time, so we were not going into that because there was no time for me to teach you what is operating expenses, how to find the gross profit, and you are not doing this when you should know that already. So that's why we were going with the question and answer format. Okay. So was that easier for you, or do you want me to go in a very deep mood on what is financial statements all about? Okay. I want everyone's opinion. Was questions and answers good, or do you want me to dive back into that particular subject and go with the operatives, everything, all the topics that's there in the financial statement and the profit and loss? Open questions. Okay. It's easy because if we go to dive into that, it's a never-ending love story. Okay, because each and everything will have different exercises. Now, When I go through with this, it asks questions, and it's just that particular question. I think this particular subject I can explain it and move forward. But when we start from the beginning, it is a commitment. We have to make sure we do that. Okay. So that is one thing. And then now we have the cash flow statement as well. So in the cash flow statement, gave we just had a little idea of what cash flow statement is. I didn't go to explain you very much of that data. I only explained you about the income statement and financial statement. It's just because we are going to go with the cash flow statement back again. Okay. So that is what we are going to learn today. How we are going to manage our cash flows. So this is literally called as cash flow management. Okay, so that is what we are going to study today. Okay. So when it comes to cash flows, it's very simple. Okay, so the name gives out the answer. What is a cash flow? Cash flows. Maybe it flows into the business or it flows out of the business. So but that is what cash flow means. Okay. So if you don't understand, you can't hear, just drop me a message and just let me know about it as well. Okay. And yeah, that's it. Okay. So in this question, in the notes, we have what is cash flow statement. So in your words, what do you think is cash flow statement? You don't have to be technical. Just you can just answer like how I answered now. Cash flow is how the actually cash flows in or out. Mm-hmm. Larry, what is cash flow statement? Okay. So as he read the book, okay, so in the university they won't come and ask you the questions as well. This will be the whole thing. Yes. But so cash flow statement is the name gives out the answer as I told you earlier. It's like how the cash flows in and the cash flows out. Okay, and within a specific time period. May it be monthly or quarterly or annually, which quarterly is like quarter months, uh, monthly is every month, and annually is the whole year. Okay, so you can get cash flow statement on specific time periods that you actually want to see whether how the liquidity of the business, whether the liquidity of the business is available or not. So it's like this: no matter how much profit we have in the business, if we do not have liquidity in the business, liquidity is money at motion. Like at the moment, how much money we have, the cash we have in the business. Okay. So, for an example, when it comes cost of profit, maybe your cash will be in the bank, maybe your cash is with the debtors. So everything together is what profit, right? So you have your cash with your debtors. You have your cash with some investments. Okay, you have those are your cash, but it's not with you. Okay, but whatever that is with you in the business at the moment, okay, that is how what we record in the cash flow statement. The liquidity. It's not only that we record, but cash flow statements make us understand how much liquidity we have and how long can we run along with that liquidity. Make sense? So we will be studying about cash flow forecast today, okay, which will prove how much of money that we have and how much we can have in the future. Forecast. We learned the forecast earlier, budgeting and forecasting. Yeah. So in that we learn it's just us having an idea how much particular or what a particular thing we are forecasting. We are seeing in prior whether we will have it or not in the so something that's there in the future, we are looking in the present and telling how much it is and how we will have it. Okay. So that we will learn, but let's just go with the cash flow management first. So unlike the income statement, which uses an accrual method, accrual accounting. So what is accrual? Have you ever come across accrual accounting? You might have come across in the statement accrual expenses, accrual income. In the income statement itself, you will find the accrual uh, expenses, accrual income. Have you ever come across it? In any of the question, have I given the accrual part? I have a video also to show in this, but did you find an accrual? Okay, I'm going to give you a simple example, okay, to prove your accrual. Now, electricity bill and water, you'll get to your house every single day, right? So in those bills, you might get the bill on the 15th of a particular day, particular month, but do you all pay on the 15th of that month itself? You should. Okay. You all pay on when? Maybe somewhere even 60th or 70th. Okay. So when you pay it, okay, when you get the bill, is accrual. Then you can understand. Now, the time period that you have from the bill that you incur to the bill that you pay. So that particular time period is what we call as accrual. So when it comes to businesses, now let's say they have a bank loan to pay, okay, an interest to pay. Let's say they are due on this first of the month. The bank date is due on the first of the month. That's when they are getting the notification. This much you have to pay. Okay. But now let's say they are doing the accounting statement on the 15th of the month. They are still not paid. They have to pay. Okay. Then we mark it as accrual bank interest. Make sense? Good. So accrual accounting is usually when we mark the yeah. So accrual accounting is when we record the transaction on the day that is incurred. Incurred is when you get the bill, or when the expense is incurred is when we do the accrual accounting. From the day that the expenses is incurred to the day that we pay is accrual accounting. Cool. Mhm. Physical language has yeah, no, but maybe it's on the day. I mean, I could actually go to someone to do it though, just for my right hand, but not on the eight. That's useless. Okay, so the income statements, unlike the income statement which use the accrual accounting, cash flow tracks the exact actual movement of the cash. Now, for example, now as I told you, accrual statement is when the bill is incurred, yeah. But when the bill is paid is how, yeah. So when the bill is paid is when it is recorded in the cash flow statement, because that is when actually the cash is going out of the business. Make sense? So, and no matter if you have a bill, if you have a bank loan, no matter what you have for your business, on when that you pay it off as cash is when you mark it with the cash. That's it. Cool. I can give you another example. So now for when it comes to debtors. Okay. So before letters become debtors, we'll have to ship them goods, right? So we'll have to give them goods. We provide them the service. So when we provide them the service, the day that we provide them the service is what when we mark the accrual. Okay. And when we get the money from them is when the cash. Makes sense? From us, if we are giving something, but we are still not getting paid for it, we will get paid, yes, but we are still not getting paid. So that we mark accrual. When we actually see the money, we put the cash. Okay? Actually, we can't. Okay? So that's what I was telling. Cash flow, the name gives out the answer. So anything that happens with the cash, in any way the cash flows, you have to mark the cash flow. Okay? Cool. Look at that. Some books. Okay. Understand. Okay, cool. Okay. The core goal is to answer, is the business actually generating cash and where is it going? So that is the main objective of cash flow statement. Okay. So it's like, are we having money? And where is our money going? It's like my mom asking every single month. She comes and asks, you earn, and where is your money? It's like, you ask my tummy. So yeah, so that is what it is. Okay, so it's like you have your cash with you, but where is your cash? It's like budgeting at the most, but in budgeting, you put stuff, you put out stuffs that you don't pay out yet, but these are things that is already paid out or already got, everything. Okay, so I get the salary on the 25th and it's already there. Something like that. Cool. Next point. Okay, so there are three main sections of the cash flow statement. Okay, which will be operating activities, investing activities, and financial activities. Okay, so when it comes to operation activities, so that is as simple as it is. Now, so far we have done lots of operative stuff. Operative is whatever that happens in the business at the operations. Okay, so what the cash flow that we are going to state is whatever that the cost that is incurred or the profits that is provided to the business during the operations period. Got it? So that is operation activities. Okay. So I'm just going to read it anyway. The section focuses on the core business operation, the things the company does to make money. It includes cash received from the customers, payment made for suppliers, so it has to be suppliers, wages, salaries, and taxes. I was sleepy as hell, guys. Please bear. Okay. A consistently positive number here is a strong indicator that the business is self-sustaining. You all know what self-sustaining means? Self-sustaining is we grow, we eat, we develop. Simple as it is. Okay. We Sri Lankans earlier were called as self-sustainable individuals because earlier, okay, because we grow our food, we eat our food, and we live it. Simple as it is. They didn't have any other things that they need, any other extra essential needs and wants that they need. They were just living to the luxury of food and homegrown food. That's why they lived for 100 years or so. But now we are not, guys. We are not self-sufficient now. Don't worry. Because our luxuriness goes far beyond just that. We are not just food only, survival only people. We are more much into luxury of a people. We all say that we are not luxury, we don't own any branded stuffs and stuff like that. But a point where we have the option of buying a pizza today and eating is also a luxury instead of going home and eating food. That's there. You get the idea, right? It's just you have something that some other person doesn't have, it's a luxury. People used to tell having more time is a luxury. Yes, last night my friends were out there playing in one person's house. They were having a night out because it's Friday night. Saturday they don't have anything to do, something like that. Life is luxury. For some people, life is also luxury. Okay, if you go and ask a cancer patient, if you would compare him with you, for him, your life is a luxury. For a handicapped guy, the organ that you have extra, not extra, the organ that you have is a luxury. Okay, so people tend to see everything as luxury. We are not self-sufficient. We are not, okay, Alhamdulillah, I have this. Have you ever told Alhamdulillah, I have this? I don't think. Yeah, you tell Alhamdulillah at that moment, but you still want more, won't you? Or not on that particular thing, but in the different other thing. Not all humans here are perfect. I can be like, nah, I'm just fine with whatever I have. Just cool with it. Or not. I would like to do something better than what I'm doing today. That is a luxury. Okay. So we are going way off topic. So self-sufficient thing is now a business. How a business becomes self-sufficient, as I told, is whatever the sales that they do, they have to be. They have to make sure they live with that sales. Okay, the money that they get in from the sales, they have to make sure they live with that money without having to take any other loans, without having to make them to business, something like that. Okay, so the sales, whatever the money you get from the sales, you have to make sure you are able to pay off the suppliers, the taxes, the wages, the salaries, everything. Okay, because the only source of income to the business is from what? From the sales that the business does. That's like a core. Maybe the business might have investments. Maybe the business might, put have holds on other businesses like investments. Okay, so but still, um, self-sufficient means it's the first core business, the core product of the business is the sales, right? For a particular business, in all business, if maybe it's a sales-related business or it's maybe it's a product-related business or maybe it's a service-related business. At the end of the day, it's the sales, how much they earn from the service they provide. Yeah. So from that sales, they will have to be able to cover their particular needs of the business, their particular expenses of the business. Okay. I'll take myself as an example just to give you a clear idea. Now, for me, teaching here, when I will get a salary, right? That is my give me the word, I forget this. My purpose, okay, my purpose. No, my salary is the sales that I have from this business. Okay, I have to be able to cover the chances that I come in. I should be able to buy food for the time that I'm here. Okay, so those are some of the expenses that I will have. Yeah, so those expenses I should be able to cover from my core. Got it? You get the understanding? So from the operating activities in the sales, in the cash flow statement, from the operating activities, we should have a positive number. Okay, if that is negative, that's not good for the business. Good. If that is positive, yes, then that will show that the business is self-sufficient. From our sales, we are able to cover up all our expenses. Next, we have investing activities. This covers the purchase and sale of long-term assets. Examples including buying or selling property and equipment, investing in other companies. So a negative number here is often a good sign, as it shows a company is investing in its future growth. Okay. Why do you think it mentions as often that is positive? Often is a good sign. Because let's tell investing activities is as the name says it all, the company is investing on the other activities. Okay. So when they are investing on other activities, then money from the business goes out. Yeah, when they invest or when they buy shares of the other company, when they buy new assets, the money from the business goes out. Okay. So that goes out will become a minus to the business, right? When it becomes a minus, most of the time it's a positive sign. Okay, so that is issues. A negative number here is often a good sign. But the other is when it becomes a bad sign is when we do a wrong investment move. Okay, we invest on something that's not going to work. Let's say we invest on a machinery which is an old one. It's not going to give you a fulfilled result. So that investment is a bad decision. Correct. So investment activities being minus is okay as long as the investment activities are good decisions. That is a bad decision and the money goes out of the room. Do you think that's a good decision? Do you think that's a good thing for the business? No. Okay. Now when we come at this point, buying and selling of property and equipment, let's talk about property. Okay. So when it comes to property, it's okay that we spend on a particular place or particular property as long as that property can give us full benefits. Okay, let's say you bought a property next to, okay, you're owning a nightclub. Okay, let's take the example. And you bought a property next to a religious place. Let's take a mosque. Let's take a mosque. Okay. So you have the nightclub right next to the mosque. One word difference. Do you think it's a fruitful decision? Do you think you will get customers in that business? You will not only not get customers, you will also have law and legal outcomes. Okay, so that is a bad decision when it comes to property. But buying property itself, no, not still you're not doing a business there. You're just buying that property and keep it for the. Okay, and when the sales, when the land rate goes out, you go sell it. Then that is a good. So instead of doing your business there, you can just have that place as an idle or just rent it out or something. So those are plans of investments that you will learn in the future. But these are some ways that you can actually make it work for a business. If your business has extra cash, if you do not have cash to pay the wages of the employees, but you have cash to buy an asset, then that's wrong. Okay. Once you're done with your operating expenses, then if you have extra right after the income, then you can use it in regards to investments. Got it? Got it? So that's all investment. So often having a negative sign is all right as long as it's not a bad decision. Cool? Okay. Financing activities. So this tracks how the company funds in activities through debt, equity, or paying back investors. This includes taking out or repaying loans, issuing or buying back shares, and paying out dividends. Okay, so financing activities will work in all the liabilities that you do have. Okay, let's say taking out a bank loan, taking out a bank loan, okay, or selling land. selling those bank loan as well. You don't want to charge us. Okay, so anything to do with your equity, your liabilities, and your investors comes under financing part of cash. Okay, so how that works is, now let's tell for an example, you taking out a loan, okay, that you will have to pay in the future, right? And you will also have to pay interest for that. So those things will be marked in the cash flow statement. Paying out interest is that your money goes out of the business, your own liquid money, your physical money goes out of the business. So that's what categorized under financing activity. Anything that to do with liabilities and equity, where you have interest to pay, you have um, you have shares to pay back. If you have shareholders, you're responsible in giving them what they want. So those things are all included in financing activities. Okay. Okay, so right after that, you see this point. By totaling these three sections, you find a net change in cash. When you add this cash change to the beginning cash balance, you get the ending cash balance, which represents the actual money the business has on hand. Okay, so when you tally out all these activities, the operative, the financing, the investing activities, you will have a difference of cash, maybe in a positive way or a negative way, but you will have a difference in cash. So that is what we call the net change. Okay, in the beginning of the year, you will also have how much cash you started the year with. Okay, so with that, you will have to substitute days and then you will get the actual money of how much cash it is remaining at the moment for you to go ahead with the business. Right? So that we will properly study as cash flow statement question. Okay? Have you all ever done a cash flow statement? That's the inflow, outflow. I never saw what the teacher taught you. You guys, it's 11:22 right now. I'm gonna give you a break at 11:33 and be back. And then we'll learn about the forecast. So the table that I gave you guys is just for your knowledge to see how it works and how it goes. Guys, I send you Nimal's business answers and everything. Was anything wrong or anything correct? Any questions? I was trying to send an Excel sheet, apparently something. Somehow. Did I check this question? Break him answer. Shall I? No, no more shall we have it? It'll be sent in. My mom told she bought shalwas in a couple of markets. Oh, I done. 90. She says, no. Pardon? Okay. That's good. If you're using that type of yes, I'm alone. Maybe you don't want your break? I can continue teaching now. You know how it's your check. So let's say go to my college and we complete my course for a month. Honestly, when I'm hungry, I want to eat something. So that's the stuff. Sorry, suggestion. So I and Mr. Prem and was having a conversation. So we were. That's why your break dragged too much. So we're gonna just move forward. Oh. Oh. That's a uni. Yeah. That's a college. That's just affiliated. Okay, so we are in the page 6. What is a cash flow forecast? I don't know. Okay, so I just have given you a summary of what the cash flow statement is the below of the above. Cash is described as the fuel that keeps business running. Without it, a company cannot pay employees, buy inventory, or invest in growth. So knowing your exact cash position at any time is crucial to avoid operational stops. Sorry. Sorry. Yeah. So as in all, as much as cash is important for us to run through our life, it is also important for us to run through our business as well. Okay. So cash is important for everything. Without cash, there is nothing. Simple as it. So what is the cash flow forecast? Sadishan, can you just let me know until which page have you written notes for? You may have a drawing book. What? What is it? Yes, okay. Why are you doing those boys? No, no. Since I'm being like an orthodox section. Don't talk to boys, okay? Don't even turn and look at him. You. See, look at it. Handwriting, there's no color in it. Red. It's like red. So we make it a result with I don't care, but I don't color. What is this? What is this? Purchase of what? If you have something, how to know and see?
Like I will
Yeah, I think you see how you're writing. Look at this. Can you even read this? Ah. You probably from English and purchase easy. Yeah, very easy. That is S. The best is. Yeah. He might have sold the E also in it. And the equity is flying to the other. In other oh, boys and men. After you become a doctor, you write like this, I want story. Now, for that, for the doctors are also scolding. Doctors are supposed to have a proper habit. Doctor, why would you do my niece. Yeah. My niece stole my sticker. My laptop sticker. She's not my niece. I never looked at that. Exactly. I don't know. Tell her to tell the other. Then tell her to tell the other. She will tell me to say, you know what she can. I put the laptop. She wants to. They are not for you also. After that, she has a laptop, a small one with a keyboard. You throw that. So good. So what she did the next day, her dad bought her something like on she pasted it like that. I do what. You went and bought it. I and her, we had that relationship, okay. Earlier when she was a kid, like when she was an infant, when she had this biting stage. Yeah. She started biting. Nothing. I didn't if she like crushes my hand, that is a relationship we have. I'm very good on. I don't even talk with that girl. Yeah, that's what we don't talk. She hates me. She according to our relationship, she's elder than me. You know what? She is a yeah. She's a she's a I'm mother. Check out is that so something. So funny. Yeah, he was last section was the teacher said. Yeah, but behind it, she started my. Shazina. Yeah, yeah. I saw her. How do you know Shazina? Ah, Rodana. Yeah, yeah. I know another two people called Salma and Salma from India. Do you think I should drop my agent? Ooh, then there are people that I do. Accounting class, Nilanda, accounting is good. Yeah, platinum is nothing. I think it's about the place a lot. How the place is not that. They just go for the sake of being there. And apparently people from my school students are part of the school that knows that. Saturday? It's nothing. You know, no, no. Platinum has not they have classes, but not platinum. You get to have a lot of classes. Platinum, right? Yeah. Could be right. It's like a house type. It's like two-story house. So, Vedanta company is good. Right? Sorry, no, I don't know. Check. I went in Vedanta company. That is Vedanta company does it Sigma and also in Google also. Just check it. You went what? I was just talking about how I it was so nice. Yeah. Okay, guys, we're going to look at the cash. What is the cash flow for Yes, the top part. Okay, so a cash flow forecast is a financial report that estimates the money a business expects to receive and pay out over a specific future period. Now, I just gave you a brief idea about it earlier in the morning. Forecast is something that we are going to do in the future, but we are going to estimate about it in the present. So, the cash flow forecast is also an estimate that we are going to do of the money in the future, but what we are having an idea in the present. Okay. So steps to construct a forecast. In order to have a forecast, we'll have to have certain criteria. And from those particular criteria is how we will find out the forecast. Okay. So that would be estimate of cash inflows. So we have an idea of how much inflows that we have for the business. Identify all ways money enters the business, such as sales of a product, investment returns, bank loans, and estimate cash flows. How do we estimate cash flow? List all the expected spending, including wages, rent, utilities, tax, and inventory cost. Calculate net cash flow. Subtract outflows from the inflows. Okay, so how do you calculate the net cash flows is you subtract the cash outflows with the cash inflows to see how much you have at the end. Okay, from all the expenses, you are subtracting the money that you have get from the business. So in whatever you incur to the business, so the balance is what we call as the net cash flow. So if the net cash flow is a positive result, then the business is generating more than it spent. That means it is good. If the net cash flow is positive, it's good. And if it's negative, then that is not good. You have potential trouble in the future. You're going to go down. You're sinking. This is sinking. So that is what it means if that is negative. If that is positive, it's good. If it's negative, it's not good. Okay. How do we calculate net flow? Is it the other way around? Cash outflow minus cash inflows is how we will get the net cash. So from that, if it's a plus value, then that's good for the business. If that's a minus value, then that's bad for the business. Make sense? Good. Okay. Now let's say if there is a minus. Okay. Before we die, we have to do something. We have to do a CPR, right? To check whether we died. I mean, like in general. Okay. You know a person is like dying right in front of you. It's like you take a video and hi. Say hi. Yeah, I know it. She's like, say hi to the people out there. You do that? Or you just go and try a CPR of them? Exactly. Do you know how to do a CPR? You know how to do a CPR? You should learn to do it. Do you know how to do a CPR? Do you know to kiss the mouth and kiss the a lot of that. Yeah. So before that, before you do the you have function. Not eat, not in that. You have to keep your hands like this. And with the pressure, you have to do it a little movement. In the Vikram, in the last party, we do that. Okay. Vikram, have you seen the Vikram? There's a movie. Okay. So in that last part of the movie, the baby they will die, and then they will go see that. Do you know that this movie can't exist that bad? Don't do it like that, it's bad. So how he does CPR is on top of the chest system. Yeah, so why he does that is he's stealing all everything from the dead body. Wanna be dead, yeah. Yeah. So he's gonna die. He does gonna die. Withering heights, criticism is really heights. Margaret Road. But don't see, that will make me feel bad, like, so to tell you. Okay. So, what we are doing is we are finding. Yes. Okay. Can you use that? Good. Yeah. It's one of the movies. Like she goes to one of the countryside. She goes to the countryside for trauma. I think I've seen the people like a cult. Okay. People die. Yeah. That was an old movie, isn't it? Okay, guys. So we are going to learn the CPR of cash flow shortage. Okay. If we do not have it, so if it's a negative, now we have to soon rescue the business before it dies down. So we are going to find out ways to rescue a business. So if the forecast predicates a shortage, there are three primary solutions. First, bank overdraft. Arrange a facility to borrow money temporarily when the account hits zero. So when when you are about to hit zero, you get money from someone else. Okay? So then you have a money in the bank. So that is bank overdraft. Supply negotiation. So what you can do is you have to pay out suppliers. No? So instead you have to pay out anyway, but apart from the due date that you're supposed to pay, you can negotiate with the supplier with it. From the next time that I get stuff from you, I'll pay the double with the loan, something And that's where you negotiate with the supplier. So the supplier is also okay, since you don't have cash at the moment, we can do that for example. Okay. So these are just practical ways of how you can manage the cash shortage. Okay. And incentivize debtors. So offer discounts to customers who pay their invoices early to speed up the inflows. Now you can tell the customers, like for example, I'm giving an example. Okay, you all know what is the other one? MinPay. You know MinPay? Are you using it? So in MinPay, if you pay on spot, they provide you like the certain percentage of discount for that particular store. 2%, 3% or so. Okay? But if you pay in 3 to 4 installments, you have to just pay just days. But if you're paying on the spot, they give you an discount. Okay? So that will also increase the cash flows. So people will be encouraged to pay at the moment because they are getting 3%, 2%. Installment is a discount, no problem. When you buy for 10,000, that 3% is important. Yes. Exactly. Okay? Got it? Yay! That's it, guys. Any questions? Anything that you want to clarify in what we studied today? I can give you a sum up of what we did today. Okay. So we studied about cash flow management. Cash flow management is getting to know how we are going to manage the cash that flows into our business and goes out of the business. Anyway, that the cash flows, how we are going to manage. So that is the cash flow business. Okay. So the only thing that we are going to look forward, the main motive in a cash flow business is that we have to see if the business is actually generating cash, and if it's generating cash, where it is going and how it is going. Okay. So, and then we studied the three main ways of a cash flow statement. One is operative and investing, and the other one is financing. Operating is everything that happens in the day-to-day function, the operations of the business, like the sales when we come, and then that ends up with the expenses that are incurred in the business itself. And in investing activities is buying out any investments, buying properties, and buying shares from the other company. So anything that we put money in order to get that return is what we call as an investing activity. So in such investing activities, a little bit of a negative number is all right as long as it's a good investment decision. And then financing activities is how the company tracks its activities to the creditors, equity, and the debts that's paying back to the investors. That's anything to do with finances. So when we get this net change in cash, in this all the changes that we get in the inflows and the outflows of all these three activities, we will get a net change. So from that net change is on from the beginning of the money to the net change, we will subtract and we will see how much money the business has as of now. Okay, and then we studied about the cash flow forecast. Cash flow forecast is that through the cash that comes and goes to the business, we will have an idea of how much cash will be remaining in the future. So we are looking at the idea in the present for something that's going to happen in the future. So that is only known as cash flow forecast. So there is three ways to construct a forecast, which is cash flow, cash inflow, and the cash outflow, and then substituting both of that and then getting a net cash flow. So in that net cash flow, if that is a positive, that means the business is doing good. If that is negative, then the business is doing bad. So if it is doing bad in the negative form, how we can get back the money flow into the business is what we study next. So one is we get a bank overdraft, which means having constant amount of money in the bank or in the business, or we are negotiating with the suppliers to talk to suppliers and maybe delay the payment or maybe pay later, negotiate with the supplier in such way. And then we also talk to incentivize the debtors, which is typically mean give discounts to debtors to encourage them to pay earlier so that you will have a cash coming to the business. Does that all make sense? Okay. Has everybody is done with the notes? Okay. Are you done with the notes? Okay. Sadushin, are you done with the notes? Okay, there is a correct check. So after your notes are done, we're going to move forward for the last week's questions answers. Pradushi, once you're done with the notes, just drop me a text. Oh, he left. Why did he leave? Okay. So moving forward with Nihan's business. The what? Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Okay. Okay. I will eat the lunch and after leaving a couple of times. Okay. Yeah. So Nihal's business, I have sent you the answers, right? Did you all get the answers? Okay. Did you all check with the answers? Is the answers correct? Yeah. I'm sorry. So do you all have any questions in that? Okay, then I'm not going to discuss. Nihal's statement of financial position. Anything that's missing? Did you miss any calculations? Look here. Good. Did you miss any zeros? Okay. Show me your questions. Did you write the answers? Don't give the previous income statements and stuff that I gave. Nihal's business. One of my other does it. I'm going to kick your ass at. Did you at least do canvas business? At least I sent down. So you could have just copied the answers. Guys, the people who did, do you all have any questions in canvas business? Anything that's contradictory and that you didn't know, anything wrong, that you need to clarify? Was the answers correct? Yes. Yes. Come on. Okay. Then the next question was Navalia the next question? So I have two questions. Manufacturing, right? Okay. Prime cost and that everything. Cool, guys. Where's my answers? Only has. Where is Canva? Did you do at least the Ulu? Yeah. Show me. I sent a homework also with the previous. Ulu, then I gave Avalia. Yeah, I gave another manufacturing business. Maybe it's a dog. Let me check. See, for the cost accounting, you don't actually have to draw and get the answer. You just you can just get the answer as well, just like adding everything. That Baba is right. Have to being an action. Okay. So you don't have to draw and get the answer. You as long as you have the answer, it's satisfied with it. Okay, so we are first starting with Hulu. Does anybody want to talk to you? Okay, finding out the prime cost for the month of January. Prime cost. You want to draw it in the board? Or can I just read it out? Okay. So in the direct cost, we have material purchase for how much? Correct. 353,500. Production labor cost is 85,000. And direct other cost that we have is 10,000. So altogether, how much I'll have? Altogether, how much you did do?
Oh,
4,500, right? Prime cost. Prime cost. 4,500. Get the calculation, both of you. I don't want to. Are you scared of looking at? I'm going to calculate again because mine is automatic calculation. 4,500. Yeah, it's 353,500, 85,000, 10,000. Why does cost of credit? What is this? What are we doing here in the factory? What is the wait? Let me go to the question. Huh? Wait, let me go to the question. I was not the question. You're talking about the cost of paints, right? Yep. You all have added the cost of paint 5,000. Okay. Yeah, this was inside. Okay, so one thing about this question is, do you see when it comes to material purchase, production labor cost, direct other cost? So all those direct costs, they are giving you an idea that it is direct. Okay. Cost of paint you don't add unless otherwise they tell you that it's a directly used material. Does that make sense? And it's a roof tile manufacturing price. Roof tile doesn't actually need paint. Roof tile doesn't actually need paint to do the roof tile. We are not talking about the modernized roof tile, we are just talking about the normal bahar. Bahar. What do we tell it? What do we tell to the roof tile in Single? Bahar. Bahar. Wahal. Wahal. Yeah, wahal. You know the wooden wahal they make from the mud. That is not called roof tile. Sometimes take me back. Okay. Okay. So now we're going to go with the factory overhead costs, which is the factory. So yeah, supervisor's salary 48,000. Factory electricity 12,000. Cost of paint 5,000. Salaries of the security services 20,000. Machine depreciation 7,000. Factory insurance 3,000. Factory maintenance cost 5,000. How much is the total, Arhan? 100,000. So what is the total production cost? 548,500. Okay. So when we are going to find how much per unit selling price. That's what's the next question, right? Selling price per unit. Okay. So how many? So we are going to first find. Yeah. So first we have to know the cost per unit. Okay. So how are we going to find the cost per unit? I gave you whole formula produced. Okay. So how much is the total cost? 548,500. And how much are they mentioning that the units first made? They have told no 100,000 units. So if you divide it by that, how much do you get? Okay, cool. Per unit. Then how much are they selling it for? Okay. Now we are going to see how much are they going to sell that for, which is the selling price. So what is the profit margin? 10%. Okay. So selling price, how do we find? Someone, are you dead? Service. That's all I heard. Tell someone, I wanted to tell the answer, but with a little bit of more strength and excitement that you're doing this finally, something like that. Tell! I just want the formula, right? Cost plus. Okay, and what is the profit margin? 10%. And how much are you getting? 0.5485. Okay, profit margin is 0.585. What is the selling price now? 0? 09 is correct. 03 is wrong. 09 is correct. 094 when we round off, it's going to be 9 anyway. The next one is Nirmala. What is it? So guys, in this, before you do calculations, you have to do what? The depreciation of what? Machines. Because if you do it earlier on, it's easier for you to add it in the manufacturing costing. Okay, so it's okay if you have done it later. If you're not, it's okay if you have not even done it, but also somehow got the answer. But it's much better if you can do it and show the workings out there itself. Okay. So direct costs. What are we having? Materials. Is it the only thing that's there? Direct costs? Yeah, direct labor. How much? Okay. 84. Okay. Adham, prime cost is 84,000. Market. And then we have factory overhead wages. We have wages of supervisor 23,000, salary for the watchman 12,000, repair of swing machine 8,500, fuel for factory 1,500, rent for building 7,500, electricity cost 2,500. And how much is the monthly depreciation here? 5,000. Okay. So what is the total overhead cost? 60,000. So how did you all find the monthly depreciation? Can someone explain me how did you all find the monthly depreciation? Yeah, it's just like a format to follow. I was there in the class at that time. Yeah, that's at that time. So tomorrow also you're beginning on 12, is it? You had a photo shoot. Is that fun? You all giddy with it. Guys, no one is still telling me how you got the depreciation amount. Can someone explain to me, please? Okay. Tomorrow as well. Somehow you have class today also at 2:30. How are you going to go into exactly at 2:30 you are meeting? Or do you want to go early? If you choose to go early, how do you go? Who are someone supposed to meet? Okay, so how to find the annual depreciation? So now there's sewing machine is 500,000. Mm-hmm. 6,000 into 12 is 5,800. So it comes as well. Okay, cool. That's correct. Okay. Okay, okay. So the next is we are to find the cost per unit of how many units they are producing. No, I just want how many units they are going to produce. 100. Yeah, that's fine. Sure. Okay. 100 units. So cost per unit. No, the first question is yeah. Oh no, selling price calculation. I am doing. Wait, I'll take it. So my answer sheet and my questions, two different things. The answer is in an Excel. The question is in the question. There is somehow. I'm searching my WhatsApp. Oh my god. I meant to save the number. She told me. Yeah, you told me yesterday. She has not sent my number yet. She has saved. Oh my god. She loves it too. Okay. Yeah, I have answered that. Is it that? Yeah. That. Not how. Okay, so cost per unit is 100 cost, well, cost per unit is going to be 100. Oh, sorry, we didn't. So total cost production cost is 144,000. So in 144,000, if we divide it by 100, we get 1,440. And how much is the profit margin we have? 15%. So if we are doing it by that, how much are we getting? 1,000? 1,260? Yeah, in 1,440, you'll have to do 15%. This is the asset. You have to add that to the. You have to add that to the. You have to add that to the cost price. No? 216 added to the cost price to find the selling price. Not how much is the profit we are keeping. We are finding the selling price. Got it? So you have to add 144 with 216. 1,440 plus 216 1,656. That's done. You're like so confused around the answer. You're like, am I getting the correct answer? Do I look like I'm looking at you like suspicious or something? It's like every time you all are trying to share an answer, you look at my face and you're like, no, I don't think that answer is correct. Let me just go to my book. The depreciation is also the same thing. You'll know the answer. It's right there on your answer sheet. And then you're not telling it to me. I'm like, why? I don't know, guys. At this point, I don't know. The relationship we have is far more than this, guys. Next is next is the manufacturing account PDF. It's a doc. What? Are you sure it's been for this sarcastic comments that you give her to be in hell, man. Not that I was it. What if some ages are all at this point? Sorry, bro. Not me. Okay, let's see. It's so limited. Is it in Lexo? It's Lexo, not Lexi. This time not a numeral, this time direct alphabet. You understand what I'm telling them? This name is not Lexo, Lexi, it's Lexo. What's the business name you got? Lexo. Why did you tell me Lexi? Okay. So starting with direct materials. Oh. This is nice. This is nice actually because you have a lot of calculations to do. So you have opening stock of raw materials, you have at the purchase of raw materials. So I'm just gonna go with the flow along with the workings so that you can get it, okay? I'll have you two. So starting with the opening stocks of the raw materials, which is 120,000. So apart if we add the purchase of raw materials that was done during the year, which is 732,000. We also add the carriage inwards, which is 5,000. And we have to reduce the raw materials that was destroyed by the fire, which was 12,000. So that is a minus 12,000. And we also reduce what? Closing stock of raw materials. So that will be a minus 90,000. When we add and subtract all of these things, the cost of the raw materials consumed will be 755,000. Did you all get it? Good. And then we add the direct wages for it. That is 110,000, which in total the prime cost would be 865,000. Is everything correct? Perfect. So then we have the overhead. We have factory rent for 44,000, factory electricity 62,000, factory supervision 90,000, indirect materials 26,000, and depreciation of machine 24,000. I'm not going to ask you the depreciation since you all already know. So total of those would be 246,000. But hold the thought. You had to add the opening work in progress. There's a work in progress materials now. So you have to add the work in progress 35,000 and closing work in progress. You have to subtract to 46,000, which will bring you out for a total manufacturing cost of 1,100,000. Did you get the answer? Okay, cool. Okay, so now we have to find the value of. Huh? Sorry? When you are closing these things. You like chicken? I just discussed this figure. If maybe if I didn't know that it's chicken feet. Yeah. But the whole point is bone, right? So the thing is, yeah, I'm sure you like it. It's like the chicken feet itself. Yeah. So it feels disgusting. Yeah, sure, okay. Okay, so the units sold is 180. The closing stock of the units is 75 and the opening stock of the units is 60. That means we are going to subtract, sorry, wait, first we are going to add the sold and the closing stock together, and then we are going to subtract it with the opening, which we will get as, yeah, the total products that we produce, we will be getting. No. So the closing stock, this laptop doesn't have charge. Yeah, so as I was telling, to find the closing stock, how much stock that is remaining at the moment, what we are going to do is that we are going to, I'm sorry, gastric. So the total units that they have sold is 180 now. From the 180, we are going to add the closing stock that was given 78. So 180 plus 78, how much? 208. Okay. So from that, we are going to minus the 60, which means we will be getting 148. Is correct. Why is this wrong? No, no, no. What has happened? Sorry, guys, my bad. Just going to show the food. So units that was sold is 180. Okay, and the closing stock of units is 78. Opening stock of units is 60. Yeah, 60. So in order to find out how many units they have produced for that particular year, what we are going to do is that we are going to add the sold with the closing. Okay. How much we need to do that? 8, and then we have to subtract it with, how much are we getting? Why did you have to 148? Okay, so this is how much we get for the units produced in that particular year. Okay, cool. Value of closing. What's the next thing they're asking us to do? Cost of sales. Now, before we finish that, we will find how much of cost per unit they have had. Okay, since we are doing a manufacturing account, we'll always have to have the cost per unit. So, how much is the cost per unit? How much is the total cost that they have? 1.100.00. Okay, and how much is the units they have produced for this year? 198. Can someone do the calculation, please? It will be somewhere around 5,500 plus. Right? So this will be around 5.555. Yeah, it goes 5. So we stop 5 and make it a 6. Okay. And the closing stock value. So we will have to first find the closing stock value in order to do the cost of sales. So how much is the closing stock? How much is the closing stock? 78. How much is per cost? 5, 6.
Two delegation sales program.
We are two for what?
The units.
Yeah.
And then two.
Why are we adding the two? Because it was stolen. We are not asking of how much of what we are going to find how much we have produced. So stolen is a different story. That means selling. So what's the answer? Answer is 433. 433. Okay, okay. Is there a point answer something? I think there has to be point after. Because there's a point here, no? Okay, so we do it 6, 8. So we make it at 1, remove the point, we make it 4. Okay? Yeah, it's just because of the point to make it a rounded off figure. If not with the rounded off figure, that's fine. Okay, then we are going to go with the cost of sales. Now we are going to find the cost of sales. Okay, so how much is the opening stock of the finished goods? Opening stock is 276. Okay, and what is the total manufacturing cost from earlier we had? 1,100,000. And we have to minus it from the finished stock that we have, it is 433,333. And then how much is the balance? Cost of sales, sorry. 936 000. Give me what is the opening stock you have written? The cost of sales. How do you do cost of sales? Opening stock and then the closing stock. We get the answer. So how much is your opening stock? Okay. How much is your total manufacturing cost? 1,100,000. And how much is the closing stock? Why is it 429? It's 433.33. Okay. Then what's the answer? The answer has to change, no? The answer has to be 94266. Take out your calculators and calculate this. So we have opening stock of 276,000. I want to see whether I am correct or wrong. 276,000 opening stock. We add it with 1,100,000. Yeah, sorry, 1 million stock. And then we subtract it with 433,334. Okay. 9? No. And we pass 1,000,000. Okay, go. Then now minus 9,426. 9,426. Calculation, kids, calculation. I'm gonna bring my nephew here and make that. Let him do that for you without calculator. Cool. You got the idea? It isn't hard. No? It's just calculation. Yeah, you're just allergic to numbers. Okay, so today's question was, I'm just wondering, should I give the questions now or should I give the questions tomorrow morning? Next. End of the class would be nice. So morning I'll give the questions since I've already explained to you all the inflows and outflows. I'll give you the questions morning and once I'm not there, you all can do it. And once I'm there, you can just go ahead. We can discuss it. Cool. Will you come early? Online, no? Will you do online class? So you come here. Last week he came here and did the Kolpa. Okay, guys. So anything else that in regards to what we did today, you'll have any doubts, any questions, anything that you need to clarify? Where am I going? Where am I going? Sri Lanka, college. 3 kilometers away from here. Calm down. No rush. Everything goes in a flow. The reason why your PDF is in the same design is that the fact I'm very lazy to do another one. Or maybe I can give you a logical answer because it's cost management, which is going to stay. Now the theory of this is this main module is financial management, right? Financial and cost management accounting. So we are going to see the presentation so that we can go with this. You can speak. Speak, we call it speak. Suggestion, we are done with the class. So if there is any questions, just drop me a text. I know you have my number and everything. So if there is any questions, just drop me a text. And if there is anything that you need to clarify as well, just drop me a text so that we can sort that out. And yeah. And please send your answers to me so I can correct it for you. In in WhatsApp or something, just please send your answers for me. Thank you. Bye bye.